music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Hello students, good morning to you all. You're welcome to another mathematics class. I'll be considering a new topic today, which is approximation. Take your time, follow as I take you through the new topic. Sure. Approximation, that's the topic, and it's a process in mathematics of writing a figure as almost exactly a given value. Is writing a number of a figure as almost exactly. Approximate means what? Almost exactly a given value. Now, approximation also means rounding off. Now, get this into your head, that it's either the word approximate is used or the word round off is used. So they mean the same thing. So it's either you use approximate or you use round off. All right, rounding off has two parts or two arms, like you can see on the board. The first part of rounding off is rounding up, while the second part is what? Rounding down. All right? How do we know numbers to round up, and what exactly do we round up to? So we round up to 1. And what are the numbers we round up? Numbers that are equal to 5 or greater than 5. I take it again. Rounding up. We round up numbers equal to or greater than what? 5. And we round them up to what? 1. The second part, which is rounding down, we round down numbers that are less than what? 5. And what do we round them down to? We round them down to what? Number 0. I take it again for better understanding. There are two parts of rounding off. That is round up and round down. We round up to 1. And what are the numbers we round up? Numbers that are equal to 5 or greater than 5. For example, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are meant to be what? Rounded up. The second part is round down. We round down to 0. And what are the numbers we round down? Numbers less than 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. Alright, there's an important information for us to note here on the other side of the board, as you can see. To round off to a given value, you consider the value before the given value. Don't allow that to get you confused. To round off to a given value, you consider the value before the given value. Of course, you know our place value, unit, tens, 100, and so on and so forth. So an example is here. If you are expected to round off to the nearest 100, what you consider is the place value before 100, which is tens. Remember, we have unit, tens, 100. So if we are rounding off to the nearest 100, what you consider is what? The tens, because that is the place value before the given value. And as we apply these two examples, I believe you will have better understanding of it. Let's take a look at the following examples and apply the instruction we have talked about. Examples. Round off the following to the nearest given values. Okay, number 1, you have something like 263 to the nearest tens. Now let's understand this question very well. We have to approximate or round off 263 to the nearest what? Tens. That's the given value. So what you do is what? You write your 263, place your value. Of course, this is your unit, this is your tens, and this is your 100. So since you are to approximate to the nearest tens, you consider the value before tens. This is your tens. So the value before the tens is what? Your unit. You circle it. Now, 3 is circled. That's the circled number. For numbers like 3, what do you do to it? Do you round it up or down? The answer is you round it down. Why? Because it is less than 5. Don't forget, we round down numbers less than 5. We round up numbers equal to 5 or above. So since 3 is less than 5, we round it down to 0. We round down to 0, don't forget. So what do you do to that 0? You quickly add it to the next number, which is your 6. Now watch the next step. What happens is that anything you circle becomes 0 automatically. If there are numbers after it too, they become 0. So 6 plus 0 gives you 6, and your 2 remains as 2. So the answer is what? 260. So 263 to the nearest tens is what? 260. Example 2. Let's take another number. For example, 2864 to the nearest 100. Okay, we are to approximate or round off 2,864 to the nearest 100. So you write out your digits, place your value, unit, tens, 100, and what? 1,000. Don't forget we are going to the nearest 100, which is on this 100. So you consider the place value before 100, which is tens. You circle your 6. What do we do to 6? Do we round it up or down? We round it up. Why? Because it is more than 5. So you round up this circled digit to what? 1. What happens to the circled digit? It automatically becomes what? 0. Any number or digit after it becomes 0 as well. So this 4 turns to 0. So what do you do to the 1? You add it to this 1. 1 plus 8 gives you what? 9, and your 2 stays. So therefore, 2,864 to the nearest 100 gives you what? 2,900. Example 3. Approximate 8,997 to the nearest 100. Okay, so you separate your digits. 8997. 8997. Now we are expected to approximate to nearest 100. So you place your value, unit, tens, 100. So you consider the place value before the 100, which is the tens, and it happens to be 9. What do we do to 9? Do we round it up or down? Of course, we need to round it up because it's more than 5. So you round it up to 1. Automatically, the circle digit becomes 0. Any other digit after it becomes 0. What happens to your 1? You add it to this 1. So 1 plus 9 gives you 10. But you can't write 10 because it's a 2 digit. So what do? You write a 0 and transfer the 1 to the next digit. And that is 8. So 1 plus 8 gives you what? 9. So 8,997 to the nearest 100 gives you what? 9,000. Number 4. 99984 to the nearest 1,000. We are to approximate this number as 99,984 to the nearest 1,000. Separate your digits. 99984. So your value, unit, tens, 100, 1,000, and tens of what? 1,000. So we are to approximate to the nearest 1,000. This is your 1,000 digits. So you consider the value before it, which is a 100 value, and that happens to be 9. What do you do to 9? You round 9 up because it's more than 5. It's more than 5. So the second digit becomes 0. The next digit to it becomes 0. The last one also becomes what? 0. What happens to your 1? You add it to this. 1 plus 9 gives you 10. Because 10 is a 2-digit number, you can't try the 2. So you write the 0 and carry the 1 to the next number. 1 plus 9 gives you 10. You can write the 10 in this case because this is the last number. So you have what? 10. So therefore, 99,984 to the nearest 1,000 gives you what? It gives you 100,000. That's the final answer. Example 5, and this will be the last example for this morning. Approximate 5,056 to the nearest 100. Alright, so you separate your digits. 5056, unit, tens, 100, and 1,000. So since we are to round off to the nearest 100, this 100 you consider the place value before it, which is tens. And this happens to be 5. Do we round 5 up or down? We round 5 up. Remember, we round up numbers that are equal to 5 or greater than 5. So the second digit becomes 0, the next one becomes 0. What happens to your 1? You add it to this. 1 plus 0 gives you 1, and your 5 remains 5. So therefore, 5,056 to the nearest 100 gives you 5,100. Next, that will be all for this morning's class. We have learned about approximation, and we have looked at whole number today. In our next mathematics class, we will consider approximation of decimal. I really hope you understand the lesson. You can check for your classwork and homework. I expect you to submit as at when due. And let me quickly correct this. For some of us that submit our work one-on-ones, please let us be careful and stop it. You are advised to submit just once so that we don't congest the portal with a lot of work. Alright, see you some other time. Bye for now.